Hello and welcome to our video. In this video we're going to talk about family and cultural traditions in Mexico. Mexican families usually follow a very constant family model. Most Mexican families have a dad, the mom, and two or three kids. Some families have more children, but it is very rare to see a single child family. Most Mexican families follow certain staple values of the culture. One of these values is the respect for elders. Some other typical values in Mexican families are loyalty and empathy. Another very big part about Mexican families is honor, more specifically, family honor. Usually, Mexican families are seen as a whole, rather than being seen as individuals. Because of this, all members of the family have the responsibility not to humiliate the family's honor. There have been several generational changes seen in Mexican culture. The main generation gap from the past generation to ours is the use of technology. Although our parents did have some technology in their early life, it does not compare to how nowadays every single toddler has their own tablet or phone for their personal use. This main change really affects how Mexican children are raised, since now, instead of being entertained by scheduled TV programs, they have access to any YouTube video or Netflix series in seconds. This is a big change that makes children nowadays extremely impatient and spoiled. Since with technology they have access to anything they want in an instant, they feel like that should apply to their real life as well, causing them to have no experience in being patient. Another generational change is how generations nowadays are way more inclusive than the previous ones. Nowadays, most modern people see the world in a different way than the older generations, mainly because of what is seen online. The culture of accepting anyone in no matter what has not been presented in Mexico for a very long time, but has recently started to include itself because of how it is seen online. Urbanization has grown massively in Mexico over the last couple years. Nowadays, there are huge factories on almost every single city in Mexico. That means that Mexican people have steered away from the rural occupations and have instead started to work on a schedule inside an office. This is a change that has seen millions of lives change in Mexico, especially because of the way better payment, meaning that families can give themselves more luxuries and live life more comfortably, with the trade off of spending all your weekdays in an office. Mexican traditions are a big part of our lives because of how big a celebration we have made of every single one. We celebrate Christmas by getting the whole family together, having dinner, exchanging presents, and usually playing some holiday themed games. We also celebrate September the 16th, which is the day Mexico started the war for independence against Spain. This holiday is one of the biggest ones we have. We usually throw big parties with lots of friends and family to celebrate it. Some other extremely important dates for Mexicans are February 24, November the 2nd, and May 5. On February 24, we celebrate the National Flag Day. On November the 2nd, we celebrate the Day of the Dead, where we build altars in offering for all of our friends and family who have passed away. And on May the 5th, also known as Cinco de Mayo, we celebrate the Battle of Puebla, where Mexico finally won its independence over Spain. One of the main changes to traditions has been that lately the decrease of people celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Previously, all cities would celebrate the date, but nowadays most cities have lost the tradition, only excluding the city of Puebla, who still celebrate it constantly. This culture drop was so significant that it was actually picked up by the United States, who currently celebrate Cinco de Mayo way more than Mexicans do. Just like some traditions have been forgotten by Mexicans, some others have been introduced, such as Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Valentine's Day. These traditions were not present previously, but were recently introduced to the Mexican culture and have since been celebrated every single year. Sadly, nowadays most young people don't really care about traditions as much. This is mainly caused by the fact that families stop talking about them, as well as celebrating them. Most traditions have started to see a significant decrease since lately, such as family dinner on Christmas or the tribute to on the Day of the Dead.